confidence, confidence. Wants that trophy.
Yeah, he's looked good in his interviews. He looked very, very confident in his interviews. I agree completely. And I'm sure he's still feeling pretty good. I mean, only one game down in a best of 5. There's plenty of room for error still. He can throw away one more game before he has to really start worrying about losing this tournament. But I'm sure he doesn't want to get in that situation because no one does.
Sure he doesn't, Moonglade. But down here to the bottom right-hand side of Nimbus is the blue Terran player playing for Team Acer. It is MMA.
Indeed it is. And we're going to see a gas first from Jjakji, so he is going to go in that aggressive style, that standard style that we've been loving and seeing so much. And for MMA, he is going to go for that Rax first into the 12 Refinery. So playing a little bit more normal and probably most likely going to be that Reaper opening, which is going to help out with scouting and trying to figure things out early on.
Yeah, getting a feel of Jjakji just to try to understand where he's looking to aim towards here. But the most important part of such an aggressive matchup is understanding where your opponent's army is. You need to know the position of it, where it potentially is heading. And anticipation, I think, is just so important here. If you're not ready for something and it hits you, because of how fast and how fast Medivacs are and how fast Marines do damage, the game can end instantly.
Yeah, and we saw it was a perfect example of last game how important positioning was, how important hiding your army until you want to make that attack. Because, I mean, especially when it comes down to tanks, positioning is everything in the fight. And if MMA got a chance to roll up to that natural and set up the tanks before Jjakji was in position, the game would have ended there instead of much later.
Yeah.
So it's really impressive how important it is. And it makes a lot of sense there.
MMA is going to play the defensive player within this game due to his setup. He's focusing on scouting and understanding what his opponent's doing. He's also going to be focusing on his economy with grabbing a second command center very early on to take 2 bases here.
Yeah.
Whereas Jjakji's going to delay that for quite a bit in this game. Not for as long as he could by the looks of it, but actually, excuse me, he's going to take a second gas as well. So he is going to delay it for quite a bit in this game. He's dedicating all his resources to that early gas, to the faster barracks, which unlocks the faster factory and soon-to-be starport here. But MMA is going to go in, and he will know what he's up against.
Yeah, he will definitely start to figure things out now. And I mean, Jjakji, with this build order, he is going to have to find damage, and most likely going to be that Cloak Banshee style, considering how fast that second refinery was. And from there, I mean, he's going to have to find damage considering how fast the command center of MMA was. And it's going to be up to MMA if he can react to what he sees, if he can get the necessary sort of turrets, especially. We already see the engineering bay almost finished.
Yeah, very, very early there from MMA. And his Reaper even went down there to intercept the SCV, the scouting unit there that Jjakji was going for. So Jjakji in the dark can obviously know that a Reaper has been used, and therefore the most common follow-up is going to be that fast command center. But he's going to have to deal damage, and with such an early +1 coming in from MMA, with the access to the engineering bay, the access to turrets, he's going to be in such a good position if he's able to deflect this with taking minimal damage. But there's always holes. There's always ways to find an opening for a Banshee to get SCV kills or just simply Marine kills.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Banshees can always find a way because of their range, because they're just so good at picking off things that aren't covered by those turrets. And I mean, we don't even see turrets just yet from MMA. Granted, he doesn't need to make them just yet.
Right.
But it looks like we're actually going to see a switch up from Jjakji, and he's making a Raven now.
And he's going to need to throw down a command center immediately if he's going to do this.
Yeah.
He's switching up. He's hoping here that we do see MMA dedicate some of his resources to turrets and detection. MMA has traditionally built 3 turrets, 1 in each mineral line and 1 in the center of his base. 300 resources away from extra production, extra units here. Jjakji's hoping that he does dedicate a lot of resources to this, and he's actually just going to throw down a command center of his own. But despite MMA wasting resources on defense, he still is in a natural lead. He has more SCVs, he's faster command center, better upgrades, stim already on the way. Naturally better position.
Naturally. Absolutely. Perfect way to say it. And I mean, these turrets are going to be very useful all throughout the game, considering how drop-oriented the TVT is of today. And they're in great position to intercept Medivacs that are going to come in. So, you know, regardless, he put them up, but they're still going to have their purpose, just not straight away, not to deal with a Banshee. And I still definitely feel that MMA so much earlier, as you were saying.
But unfortunately for Jjakji, I mean, he's going to be playing the same style as MMA, which is tank and marine. But he's so far behind with the majority of everything that MMA is already in the lead with. So I really don't know where he's going to find a position, a way to be able to come back into this one, unless MMA is going to make mistakes. But MMA hasn't really made some huge mistakes in this tournament that stand out to me. He's played pretty solid overall. Jjakji has a scan inside the main base, and this is a heart sinker scan because he goes and sees that MMA is probably very close to finishing Stim. He's very close to actually having Medivacs out.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a very comfortable position considering how much or where he is. But he does see that there is still no starport out. The factory is still upgrading, so there's no tanks whatsoever. So Jjakji kind of has a different tech. He's got tanks. He's got a very important.
And MMA knows this is coming down, but what he's doing now, he's planning an extra layer of defense. So he's going to try and hold on to that first bunker, then he'll fall back to the second bunker. But with Medivacs on the way out, what happens if MMA says, I can hold on long enough to get a tank out, and if I drop those 16 Marines into your natural, because everything you've got is right here out front of my front door, how the hell are you going to defend?
That's a very, very good question. And I think it's going to be up to MMA to make that decision, and that's a very hard decision to make as well. Is he going to commit to that double drop and try and do that counterattacking? That could win him the game or could lose him the game considering how aggressive Jjakji is.
I mean, if Jjakji's so aggressive here, MMA may decide to take a fight. The tanks are in very good position. Jjakji's going to further up here. Stim is done. Medivacs are out. This is so huge.
Yeah.
If Jjakji messes up here, he is in so much trouble.
Yeah, this is very, very bold from Jjakji. He has to make he has to do so much damage. We even see SCVs being pulled. I think MMA can go for a great stim and take out these tanks.
Oh, he's going to drop 2 Marauders right at the back here. He's going to try and take the tanks out and then come in with everything else. And if he cleans this up with minimal losses, he will find himself in such a good position. The Marauders target down the tanks. 2 are down. 3rd is down. There's another one, but MMA cleans it up here. He's losing a lot in supply, but how much did he lose compared to Jjakji, though?
It's hard to say. He lost so many SCVs after that fight. So many of them have cleaned up, and look at the worker supply, 44 to 30 now.
Maybe too many SCVs were lost in that attack there for MMA, who drops down quite a lot here, but he's going to try and go over to the other side of the map to equalize this up a little bit. Does Jjakji have enough at home? Is he rebuilt up in time?
Yeah, by the looks of it, he doesn't have much at all. He's got a Viking, he's got a siege tank, and 3 Marines. So, I mean, there could be a lot of damage here. See that tank setup, and, I mean, it's going to be a lot of denied mining for the time being at the very, very least.
And MMA throwing down 4 extra barracks, is slowly recovering with the economy here. And a movement forward with the tank, and he does get picked off at the last second there. 6 SCVs, 9 SCVs have gone down, 14, 15. And MMA lands a counterattack, which is beautiful. The Marines still stand strong. 1-1 upgrades on these beauties, combat shields as well. 19 SCVs, 20. And MMA deals more damage to Jjakji than Jjakji did to him just.
What a great counterattack. He knew he had to make something happen, and what beautiful positioning. Blocking the SCVs from coming any closer in those mineral lines. And that tank just went to work on everything. So really impressive play from MMA, and his Marine upgrades actually accounted for a lot there. 1-1 against 0-0, and it's absolutely showing.
Yeah, this is not looking good at all for Jjakji. The Marines stim forward, they know their lives are over, but they try to deal as much damage as they can. But here, let's have a look at the conclusion of this then. 33 SCVs for Jjakji left over compared to 40. And the production is pretty awesome from MMA. He's up to 5 barracks. He's going to ramp up the pressure, ramp up the aggression, and keep going for it. And it's Jjakji the one with the 3rd command center, not the production. So, you know, the longer the game goes on, maybe Jjakji gets back into it. But with MMA being on 1-1 upgrades, with having so much production and so many units on his way, MMA is going to look to try to win this now.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's going to definitely not allow that 3rd base to go down. We see a little bit of auto turret harassment at the natural of MMA. He wants to clean that up pretty quickly, but still not really too much damage being done. And we do see a 20 supply advantage for MMA. And while this is all happening, MMA went for a drop in the natural of Jjakji's as well.
Yeah, he did go for a natural drop there, but gets cleaned up a little bit there, but still, worker supply in favor of MMA, army supply in favor of MMA. Upgrades are catching up slowly, though, and of course, with a 3rd orbital command center here from Jjakji, even though he's behind on SCVs, doesn't necessarily mean he's behind on income with a 3rd set of mules. Jjakji is defending okay, though. MMA not able to crack him, not able to beat him, even with his upgrade advantage, but he's further in that. He's got 2-2 on the way now. So as much as 1-1 is on its way for Jjakji, MMA is going to further himself a little bit more as well.
Yeah, we could definitely see a 2-2 timing, or when 2-2 kicks in, it's just going to be so much harder for Jjakji to find decent fights unless he's constantly outnumbering what MMA has on the map. And MMA moving out now, so he's going to look for something, but at the same time, we see Jjakji with 2 medivacs moving out towards the main of MMA.
And they were spotted immediately, and they turned right back around. There was a single Marine there that saw that. And
just having a peek over the cliff and happens to see 2 medivacs flying by.
No threat on the way.
They're going to continue to be defensive after taking so much damage. MMA still with a slight lead, but without that third CC, which we might see come down in just a second, he's going to be in trouble if this game goes a bit longer and that third CC actually gets to land.
Yeah, so he's not putting himself in a position where he has to kill Jjakji in order to win the game with a third command center coming in. But soon, MMA is going to look for a fight. He's got a good army, 73 army supplies. You can see to the top right if you look for 74, and then 53 just below it is the army supply of Jjakji. And Jjakji's going to be out in the open. He's decided to take his third base, sorry. He's got Marines and turrets to protect his back mineral line to hopefully not get dropped there. But does he have enough to actually defend against a frontal attack?
Well, it's going to get a lot harder very, very shortly when we see 2-2 come in. And not too long away either.
MMA scans, he sees nothing there.
Oh, this is the perfect opportunity. He could actually kill this third CC. There's simply no defense whatsoever, and there are so many Marines here.
Tanks covering the mineral line, not the mineral line, the ramp here, and he's targeting down the command center, and he's going to get it. A big move from MMA, and no units can even come back to defend because the 3 tanks are covering it. One scan out of position, and we talked about it.
That's all it takes. And MMA casually walked up, scanned, realized that there is simply nothing there to defend this third base, goes down for free, and now, I mean, the economy has been reset there, both even, but at the same time, the third CC for MMA has just finished.
It's just finished here. 3-3, man, starting. It's unbelievable. It's going to be such an advantage in every single fight. I mean, there's already an advantage for MMA. He's starving Jjakji. He's stuck on 2 bases, lost his third. MMA is mining from his third, now taking the gases there, moving some SCVs. A counter drop has been deployed here by Jjakji. Some way, maybe, if he can get damage done. But there's so many Marines here. And MMA's baiting him. He's like, come on, come and drop in here. And he steams forward and is going to pick off a couple of straggling Marines and deflected an attack.
Yeah, absolutely. So very, very nicely done from MMA. And, I mean, that's all he has to do. He has the perfect contain. And it's up to Jjakji to break out of here. And he has to break out of here very, very soon. A brilliant scan from MMA. Sees exactly what he's got planned. Dropping Marines on the low ground behind that third base. So he's like, okay, you're going to try and bust this. So he's bringing up the rest of his Marine tanks, but here we go. Finally, the huge engagement we've been waiting for.
Yeah, and look at that. Jjakji just gets swatted back like a fly as he attempts to break out of this contain. He's 50 supply down. MMA is in a wonderful position to go 2-0 up. As we described before, a game that Jjakji mustn't lose here, as now he'd be looking at winning 3 games in a row, a very difficult task against a world-class opponent in MMA. So many units here. So many units here, and he's edging forward. He's got air control. He's got money he can spend whatever he likes on. And air control is gone immediately, never mind. As Jjakji cleans that up, the Vikings picked out of the sky instantly.
Yeah, I mean, but still, he got some great shots of Marines, and I mean, there's simply nothing that Jjakji can do beyond his ramp. He is stuck there.
Yeah.
I mean, the very least he could do is go for some counterattacks, but still he's just going to stem forward, try and take out the tanks that have kind of been left alone for a while. And he does, he takes them out.
Yeah.
So a nice little victory there for Jjakji, but still there's such a force waiting.
Yeah, slight error there from MMA to allow those tanks to get picked off so easily, and that should allow Jjakji access to his third base again to actually get the economy lines back on.
Yeah.
So he can bring in the money again to recover and start to rebuild his army, but in the meantime, there's a 40-30 supply difference between the both of them, and now those +3 attack upgrades,
they're about to finish.
They're about to finish.
And things are just going to get even uglier because 3-2 is only halfway done for Jjakji. So we're clearly going to see some pretty one-sided battles. So long as the tanks don't get some great firing off onto MMA's army. The tank count for MMA is actually a little bit lower, considerably lower actually. So he's got to be careful in his positioning when engaging. He doesn't want to be running into those siege tanks, which is definitely one way Jjakji could come back into this.
Yeah, MMA keeps weighing up the situation here. Scan on the base, scan on the units. What does he have? Where is he? Sees the tanks all seized up, not going to go there. So spots a drop. Just a random Marine on the other side of the map. Spots a drop. Just having these units sprinkled around the map gives him sight range. And oh my gosh, MMA upon seeing that the tanks are seized up on that third base, attempts to drop into this second base area. And all the units of Jjakji try to come back to defend, but with these upgrades here, despite the bad position with MMA being clumped up, it's too good.
GG. Straight up.
GG. 2-0. MMA 1 game away from taking a 3-0 here in the grand finals.